You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Join the party. Head over to our Linktree to find all the links for everywhere The Experience is all the time.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
Hey, and it's Monday. We got Robbie here. We got John here. Let's see, Preston. Wasn't that, there was some sort of barbecue thing locally, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was South Jersey Barbecue Championship. Or New Jersey, it was down.
Yeah, even I read about it.
Yeah, a buddy of mine was in the. My buddy was in the amateur. Right. They have like different classifications. My buddy was in the amateur thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
And,
I read something about that. I thought about Kyle. I wasn't sure if that was the one he was talking about.
Kyle, I think, is more on like the big boy,
the pro tour, so to speak.
Kyle with barbecue is like me walking into a comic book convention talking about Dynamite, the top of the food chain. Unless
I'm not sure which part was the top of the food chain. Kyle's barbecue, or are you talking about Dynamite?
No, both of us. Kyle, if you see pictures of Kyle's barbecue, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was my nice way of saying that you flatter yourself, sir. Is your arm sore from patting yourself on the back like that?
I've had to explain to a few of the guys in the Facebook group who think they know about Dynamite Comics. No.
Did you start the sentence off with no disrespect, but?
I actually started a post with not to be unpleasant, but, and then I just.
Whenever John does that, he says, no disrespect, right around the corner, disrespect is totally coming.
Yeah, and he's going to throw out his Regal card, too, just to...
Yeah, his Regal card, he'll drop a few names,
you know who I am. One of the things that we talk about a lot in the Dynamite fan group and in some of the other comic groups are things Dynamite has done in the past. I've essentially been reading these comics since about a year after they started, so I kind of see all this stuff. And when someone says a certain title, oh no, Dynamite hasn't done that. In this particular case, I literally turned around and it was at the bottom of the bookshelf. So I took my phone and went bang and posted the photo. And this is the thing, I always do this. Well, actually, because everybody hates that. That's like the single most obnoxious thing you can say on social media. So I use it all the time. Well, actually, they did it in 2013.
And so this is what retired people do if they're comic book fans. Lars, man, Preston, Triple B, Ron, what's up, buddy? Dave, Cerrone in the
Monday.
house. It is Monday. You know,
Robbie joined us, decided to waste more of his valuable time. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
All right, so we'll start off with the best offer books like we always do. So tonight we got Stray Dogs, Dog Days #1, Dynamic Forces exclusive Virgin variant by Tony Fleets and Trish Forstner. And this one is signed by Tony Fleets. Suggested retail of $49.99. It is a best offer book starting at $19.92.
Like a little Evil Dead homage there.
Yeah, Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn cover homage. Love it.
Yeah. They're a little...
And it is 11 of 125 signed.
And speaking of, it's funny, we just brought up Evil Dead, so this is going to be the big segue.
Subway?
Segway. I don't know. Larsman is offering 20 on Stray Dogs. Do we have this up there?
I don't. Yes, we do.
Can you show that one next?
I can. Hold on. Let me get.
When I walked in here, I kind of saw how
buddy.
this went, and I thought, ooh, a Segway that can look like it was organic, but no, it totally wasn't. I figured this out like an hour ago when I got here to read comics.
All right, let's find it. Hold on.
I'm super excited. This was the first thing I read for New Comic Book Day, which is sort of like Wednesday for everybody else.
All right, so it is the Army of Darkness versus Reanimator Necronomicon Rising #1 Virgin cover by Arthur Sudan.
Speaking of Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, two of the things that I absolutely love, and I got to tell you, I think this is just a theory, unsubstantiated, but there's at least 15 to 20 things I bother Nick for endlessly in rotation. And I think part of the reason that these two are teaming up is because this is a good way for him to check two annoying texts of mine off the list with one comic. Because I'm like, I want more Reanimator. And he's like, yeah. And of course I love Army of Darkness. So this is kind of a cool way to sort of, okay.
All right, so suggested retail of 50. We have one available for 40. And these guys are already trying to guess how many times John has seen Thor.
Wow. Bruce Campbell is the man. I've met Bruce Campbell at a bunch of shows over the years, primarily in San Diego. He is one of the coolest celebs you kind of meet. He literally is like what you say.
All right, so
you know what I mean? That guy is. I love the fact that there's a little bit of a spoiler, but obviously Herbert West gets a hold of his head.
All right, so I'm very busy, John, because now I got to jot this down. Okay, so Preston is going with 8. Lars Mann is going with 7. All right, now Dave Cerrone is going for 5. Okay, let's see here.
Robbie's got me sitting there thinking, I have a super successful YouTube show, which you guys should all check out. I have a successful comic book store, which you guys should go and visit if you're in the area. Why does everybody care how much this guy's seen this movie?
No, I'm sitting here trying to think myself because I'm thinking, well, it's about a 2-hour-long movie.
Ron is guessing 4. Okay.
Normally, I kind of post on Twitter when I'm seeing a movie, but I didn't want to spoil it, so I told Rex I stopped doing that. You know, there were days.
I will confirm that it was more than 2, because he sent me photos. He texted me photos of himself in the movie theater.
I sent Nick one too.
He actually went to. There's a local place. Was it the Yard House that you went to?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a local restaurant, brewery kind of thingy called the Yard House here. I guess they're a franchise.
Yeah, I think they're a franchise.
Yeah, so you'll find them in other places in the country, but there's one not too far away from the movie theater he goes to. So, in typical fashion, and I apologize to Robbie, I missed his Friday show because I was sick on Friday and sick over the weekend. So, of course, John's texting me pictures of the Yard House with the beer and a big smile. Right?
I was pre-gaming for the movie.
And I was kind of hating on John at that point. All right, not feeling well and pretty much saying, what a jerk, okay, that he would send me this while I'm ill. And he knew I was ill. I'm pretty sure you did. Because then oh, no, you didn't.
I did know you were. I found out later that you were.
Yeah, I texted him later when I felt the strike to text him. And
it was just
let him know what a jerk he was.
It was a middle finger emoji.
And ask him what beer that was. And then he went to the movie theater and took yet another photo. Okay. So I can guarantee you it's more than 2. All right. Now, the pre-guess before he actually went to say was 6 was the winning number.
Yes,
okay?
The pre-guess of 6 was the winning number, and that was how often I planned.
All right. So I will give everybody. Let me see what everybody's got here. Okay. Jay, you cannot actually win, but I'm going to put you down for 9 just in case. All right. So, but let me say this. Okay. That was the pre-guess was a 6.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will help everybody out. Do not guess 6. That number is incorrect.
Yes, we'll give you that one.
You're really narrowing it down. You're telling everybody it's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 6. Come on.
We're trying to be a little bit fair.
John, that's not really narrowing it down, Robbie, if you think about it. Okay?
And
so every other number between here and how many times could he physically see a movie between then and now? That number. What is that, like 50?
Dave posted real quick. Dave, between the kind of flight crisis situation and the fact that Dynamite will not have any sort of, booth table presence thing at San Diego, I'm probably not going to go this year. There's still a small chance, but the truth is, everyone I know is having trouble getting on flights. If this was a drivable distance or a different story, I mean, I'm in Jersey, so this is literally on the other side of the country. Not that I would hate getting stuck in San Diego, but I mean, there have been people sitting in cities for like 4 or 5 days. And I'll be the first to admit.
And who says you'll be sitting in San Diego?
There's that too, because it's almost impossible to find nonstop flights now.
Right.
The best flight I saw is they want to fly me to like Houston, and from Houston to Sydney. I don't. Not to mention, and there's a real certain dollar figure to go into cons.
Right.
I don't stay at the Red Roof. I don't eat at like Panera or anything like that. So every day I stay in San Diego.
No disrespect, though.
It's a lot of money. So I think, oh really, Larsman? Oh, see, this is why I love our people. Larsman just said flight prices have dropped significantly this week. I'd say the odds are I will not be in San Diego, but there's always,
I'm not going to San Diego.
Well, I'm obviously not going to go when you don't have Dynamite booth.
The chance is not zero.
It's
we
zero.
would say it's not zero. He's still waffling.
I'll put it to you this way. I have no problem with him leaving Wednesday night or later for San Diego. Since you're on vacation next week, he's got to be here. I might even have to pay him.
He can do it from San Diego.
But I was going to say, no, I have an idea. We're going to do the show live in San Diego.
Aren't you live now? Aren't you live now?
See, thank you. Can't you get Nick to let you use the Dynamite jet?
I don't get to use the Dynamite jet.
What's Dynamite jet?
Nick
There's a
wants-
Dynamite jet?
No, you know what the Dynamite jet is? You know what it was?
You're not going to bring like a little toy
No.
jet.
The Dynamite jet was our account with Jet before they sold to Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Dynamite jet. That card that we.
We're Rupenstein,
Oh.
Marcus, Josh. What's going on, guys?
Dynamite has a jet. No. Whenever I say stuff like that, Preston, I'm goofy. There's no copter.
Wait till
There's
you see who we have writing Green Hornet. Wait till you find out who we have writing Green Hornet.
Yeah. Is it the
Don't
one I already
give
know?
John somebody else to name drop, please.
No, you're not allowed to say.
Oh, no. I think I know who it is, but I'm not going to say.
All right, come here. Let me whisper to me.
Hey, guys, seriously, we're live here.
Someone
What
promised
makes
something.
this fun?
5 bucks.
They're having a sidebar, Robbie. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. Getting privileged information from the publisher, I see.
I don't know.
That's what
I don't know. So talk with their hands
I don't
alive.
have hold of me because I have thoughts.
Okay.
Emmy Comics,
Yeah, right.
what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us.
Okay. John did not guess it right.
I did not. I was happily mistaken.
So
I'm happily mistaken, but
look how happy he is.
I won't say anything until there's announcements or whatever.
That's a New York Comic Con announcement.
Oh man! Oh, what is New York Comic Con?
That's like October.
It's October 6th to the 9th. I won't be there because it's my 30th anniversary. Because I might not be alive if I go to New York.
What are you talking about? They're not forced to over the 30 years, isn't it?
It is.
Oh,
but not that 30th.
Oh, I thought it was the anniversary that mattered.
No.
My comic book.
It was the anniversary where I met Pam, and me and my buddy were out celebrating the death of Superman because we just signed a big QVC deal that we sold through Rex's old company. And Pam's like, why do you care about the death of Superman?
Oh, boy. Do you not know who I am? Have you not seen QVC?
Oh, my
I
God.
wasn't
here
on
we go.
QVC yet.
No, that's right. So, Lars, man, did any of you own the Evil Knievel action van? I did.
I did.
Where
The
you
side of
was-
the van came out and it
Right,
became a
It
ramp.
had a ramp,
Yeah.
and it never, ever jumped over that ramp.
No.
Okay?
I thought it was
There's
made.
no way you'd get that thing to jump off the ramp like they do on TV. That was horrible. It was horribly disappointing. That's all I have to say about that.
If they're gonna announce the Green Hornet thing in New York,
What?
I know a very good hotel near the convention center.
That one he will definitely go to. It's within driving distance.
Not only that, well, I'll just jump on the train because I won't be remotely sober enough to drive.
All right, so the next best offer item is Justice League of America #1, signed by Steve Orlando and Ken Hazer, with a cover sketch of Batman by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail $99.99. It is a best offer book starting at $30. All right, so that gets best offer out of the way.
I was talking to Ken on Instagram. Now, you brought him up, so this isn't a name drop.
I presented an item that was done by Ken Hazer. So it's not like I brought him up in casual conversation, but you dropped your name in.
I was texting Ken on Instagram, and he thought it would be a cool idea. He wants to do the original Batman, where he had the short gloves and the really kind of, the pointy ears and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if he does that.
I'd like to see that. I'd really like to see that.
Marcus is opening up at 30. A large man, Marcus, speech to it, buddy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Robbie.
What's that?
What were you saying, Robbie?
I was agreeing with John on that, I believe.
Well, stop doing that.
Okay.
Oh, this is about Ken Hazer, though. I don't think anybody disagrees about Ken Hazer.
I'm kidding.
I'd love to see that. Also, and Ken's tired of hearing this one, I was like, where's Man Bat? And he kind of does the emoji. Like, dude, stop asking me for stuff.
Got you, Creative. All right, so Creative is in lead at 40.
Well, Ronald has a ton of his stuff.
He does.
And that sort of, when a creator meets a collector like that really resonates with them. You know what I mean? That someone, Ronald makes a concerted effort in both time and energy and money, quite frankly, to build, a Ken Hazer.
Right. What he said was he had over 70 pieces.
I think he said it had over 70 pieces.
That's 700 pieces overall.
Yeah.
Oh, Ron, I got your joke, by the way, that you emailed me. That was a good one. Which I don't know if we could tell it here, though. One of those jokes.
That's on the Experience After Dark.
What's that?
That's the Experience After Dark.
Experience After Dark. Oh, my gosh. All right, so let's see. What do you want? Hey, Robbie, pick one.
You got something signed by Del Keown, don't you? Yes. Let's bring that up, because I'm a big Del Keown fan, going back to the Pit days. Come on.
By the way, did everybody hit that thumbs up? I guess not.
Dead silence. They're all trying to hit the thumbs up to say yes. Share. Let your friends know that we're here putting on a tremendous display of comics knowledge and entertainment for free.
Yeah.
And Rex is helping.
You use the term knowledge very loosely, I think. All right, so Dark Knight 3, The Master Race #1. AOD exclusive signed by Dale Keown. Special retail of $69.99. We have one available signed in silver, and it is one of our 5-star at $50 books of the night. I love that cover.
I love it. I love Dale Keown. I remember when he blew my young mind when he did Hulk, and then Pitt was one of those. Pitt was one of those image books where I was like, that was like probably the first time in my life being like, when's the next issue going to come out? And I had to deal with a really long delay, but I love his artwork, and his signature is artistic. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I remember the Pit, when Image came out, the assumption was all their characters were rip-offs of Marvel characters.
Right.
People said it right out. Everyone looked at the Pit and thought it was the Hulk. And when you got the book, you realized it was not the Hulk. The Pit is one of those kind of seminal sort of 90s, 2000 stories that, you don't really see. Everything now sort of has to either lead up to some massive mega event. The Pit sort of was in his own little corner, in the beginning anyway. Eventually everybody sort of teamed with everybody. But it just had this great kind of slow build launch. You had a top talent on it. And yeah, people would, everybody loves the Image revolution, but for the old people that lived through it, you waited weeks for books. You waited months for books. Sometimes your book just never came.
Right? Sometimes you waited years, yeah.
Sometimes you waited years for books. I understand the creative process is difficult, but, people reached a point where you'd be like, well, dude, don't solicit the book if it's not going to be here till next year. I know you're at Disney World lifting weights and drinking beers, but maybe you could go home and draw your comic.
Well, it wasn't like the Image stuff back then and the routine lateness. That was part of the thing that led to FOC, right? Because they were taking money from shops and the books would never come out. And to be honest, by the time the books came out, maybe a lot of those shops had closed because the bubble had burst, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what led to a lawsuit that was going on that kind of led to the idea of FOC, like one final time to change your order numbers before it goes to print.
Not only that, but I think a lot of times too, you get excited for a book. I don't care what it is, right? You get excited for a book.
Right.
Boom, it's on my list. Okay, August 1st is the release date. In December, my heat for that book is dissipated.
Yeah.
So when the LCS says, "Oh, hey, that book you ordered in April for August is here in December," I'm not paying for that. Right. So now the guy who owns the LCS is stuck. By the way, you should never do that. You should pay for the books you order, unless they're like, ripped or destroyed or something. But you should always kind of like pay for your books. But, at that point, so basically you're going to waste money and buy a book I no longer care about. Right. Or, you stick your LCS, which is not cool either. When they announce a book, they should be pretty close to at least issue 1 being out there. Not calling Ronalds and begging, "Oh, please print this right away before I go broke."
Yeah, and then back in those days, you'd be like, okay, so you telling me that you ain't going to get this book out on time, but you also are soliciting 4 new ones that are going to be coming out. Like, really? We got a strike file? We got a storm watch? What's going on?
The character from this book you haven't published yet is going to have his or her own series. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That would happen all the time.
So Preston wants to see the Vampirella Virgin cover.
Me too.
All right, so let's do it. So we've got Vampirella Strikes #3, Virgin cover by Yoon Yoon. Suggested retail of $50, and we have one available tonight for $40.
Creators generally don't do this, but we're getting a name drop graphic. I was texting Tom Stigowski. He loves this cover. He thought all the covers were good. This particular cover was almost like a art magazine sort of take on the cover. You know what I mean?
All right. So Preston, you got it, Preston.
It's a great cover, and I love the collar. The way the collar's done has this, I don't know, there's something about it that's very striking to me with that collar.
It's like a very Jose Gonzalez cover. I mean, if you look at if you look at some of that stuff from the Warren years, and I realize most people weren't even alive during the Warren years, maybe watching this, but if you look at some of that stuff in the Warren years, she's popping a big collar.
Yeah.
By
the way, you can get those from Dynamite. Those archives, those are available. I highly recommend them. They're wonderful hardcovers too. Wonderful hardcovers in that magazine size. They're great.
The Warren years are available, and I'm pretty sure the Harris years are available or will be available in that size. And then, of course, the Dynamite years. Unfortunately, the Harris thing is sort of in the middle, right? Because all the traditionalists are banging on for the Warren books. So you got them, and they're amazing. And the Dynamite stuff gets collected. I mean, literally right behind me is the Vampirella omnibuses for the Dynamite stuff. But the sort of Harris stuff, while guys like Tom Stigowski and Adam Hughes worked on Vampirella during that Harris run, but it was sort of like at a lull in the character's popularity. You know what I mean? I remember people almost not knowing who Vampirella was in the comic book store. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? And, and I think also people like me who was used to the magazine black and white format.
Right.
The Harris standard size color was a little bit of an adjustment. I remember at the time I was like, this is good, but it didn't feel like Vampirella. Then by the time Dynamite started doing Vampirella, you were used to it. So you're like, oh, wow, Plus a lot of the creative team from Harris, were doing the books in the beginning.
So looks like the viewers are busting your chops a little bit there, Robbie.
Well, and to comment on that, I just want to say I commented on the collar. I didn't comment on other parts of the art that I thought were cool. Like
Robbie
the bats,
goes to the
like the
family show. That's why.
Some of our cosplayers watch these shows.
See?
Keep the comments.
Keep it clean, boys.
PG-13, please.
Oh, man.
I like the entire cover. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean, normally creators, especially writers, when they're talking about the artwork, most of the time they're very, nobody is going to kind of dump on somebody else or whatever. But he's like, with all the covers, you really kind of can find something that speaks to you. And I guess it was 2 or 3 days ago me and Tom were talking about this cover. And he was like, this is very much like art house catalog cover. And I'm like, well, that's kind of his style, right?
You know, what I love is watching Robbie backpedal on defense, kind of like LeBron James to dunk the ball.
No.
And you know you're overmatched. You're not going to be able to stop him, but you're going to make your best effort and keep pedaling backwards.
I'm not pedaling backwards. I commented on the collar. I didn't comment on other aspects. I didn't talk about her chest. I mean, obviously I noticed it, but the collar was also noticeable. There you go.
Wow, dude. It's like LeBron just
this
like
is the cosplay
totally
cover.
over you and dunked on you on that one.
When I saw that cover, I was like, man, that's a nice collar.
And that was just and one. Okay,
And one.
LeBron got and one on that.
Never judge a book by its collar. Nicely done, Dwayne.
Well said, Dwayne the Pain.
And because someone will ask, that cosplay cover is Ireland Reed.
All right, so you know what? We actually have to go break it. No, but Amy, we have a giveaway, don't we?
Yes.
Okay. So, but we had 2 different books, right?
Yes.
So, all right, yeah, come on in.
Somebody needs to be on the show that people
they're 2
like.
incompetent guys right now, so we need your help. So there are 2. What are the 2 giveaways?
Sorry.
All right, so we were only supposed to give 1 away. But I think we're going to run 2 different contests because we're going to run.
One's for Wednesday, one's for tonight. So.
Well, right now we have to do one for they're guessing how many times John saw Thor. That's got to be different from the other one.
Amy doesn't seem to care if they have need free books. I didn't see the care.
It's not my job to decide that.
We're going to make it your job. What do you want to do, Amy?
Amy, decider of things. Dave, you're right. The show is immediately 100% better.
Oh, well, there's a regular giveaway.
Should I have brought something from the giveaway to me?
I was gonna say,
Sure.
you wanted.
It'd be nice if you brought me some food again. I mean, it's been a while. I'm just saying. From the caterer, he brings me a bag of M&Ms. Okay.
Those should probably be for Amy, but
not a John Cole. No, I get a bag of.
you said you were hungry.
Give me 1 second, okay?
Peanut butter M&Ms. Thank you.
Share some.
We're gonna go to our break. When we come back, Amy will try to
We'll make the executive decision on what
make the
giveaway.
executive decision. Robbie will still be here, although I don't know why he comes anymore. Thank you, bud. I appreciate you being here.
Not if you guys are all going to make fun of me because of my collar preferences.
Oh,
Well, we
boy.
made fun of Alec over his age, so it was your turn. I mean, just to be fair.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I love it.
All right, so we're going to go to our first break. Stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Get the inside scoop on everything happening at the experience every week. Join our mailing list by scanning the QR code at the bottom of the screen and then watching your email inbox. There's a super new way to support your friends over at the experience. Head over to YouTube and send us a super chat, a super sticker, or a super thanks. We'll be super grateful for your support, and then keep an eye out as we launch membership services over on YouTube. It'll be a great way to get first look access at new content, and shows before anybody else. Keep your eyes peeled and make sure you're following us on YouTube.
We're back.
All right, we're back. All right, so tonight's giveaway. All right, give everybody enough time. You want to hold up the
Sure.
do your Vanna White thing, please?
Wait a minute. I should be getting this, not them. I'm the one who goes to the movie.
Oh my God, you'll end up with a copy anyway.
These are very cool. I've talked about this a bunch of times. I love these kind of, blood red covers.
All right, so this will be the regular giveaway of the night, and you need to put in the chat hashtag the EXP all lowercase. All right, and then we'll run the contest right after. We'll run the drawing right after the best offers close, and then we will do. So that's hashtag the EXP all lowercase. Excuse me.
1 second.
Then we're gonna do the guess how many times John saw Thor contest, and that will be a Lucio Perillo.
Here.
This will be a Lucio Perillo
This is a crowdfunder exclusive. I remember this.
crowdfunder promotional card. All right, and that will be the prize. No, the Preston THE, not VEXP. And where Rupenstein, the EESP is not going to work either. It has to be. There we go, guys. All right, so that will be the drawing. We'll do that right after best offer books, and then we'll through the evening. If you guys want to guess how many times John saw Thor, I will say that it is more. It is more than 2. So don't guess 1 or 2. It was not the pre-guess of 6.
It was not the pre-guess of 6, so
Okay.
we kind of ruled out 3 numbers.
Right, but other than that, with his Regal MVP card or whatever you want to call it, frequent flyer card
Thank
or
you,
whatever,
Dave.
any number as long as the math works for the time that was last Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, until today, how many times can retired John go and see the movie? And believe me, it's quite a bit.
It's a lie.
Okay, they're 24 hours in the day. You figure
Nice,
they're
thanks, man.
open. They're open what? 8 hours, 10 hours a day?
Yeah,
First showing would be at 10, and sometimes last showing is at
some
20.
days, yes.
So
some
12
days.
hours, really.
There were days, I'll tell you right now, when Avengers Endgame came out, I saw it like Thursday night at like midnight.
So how many times have you seen a movie in one day?
I think 6, if I remember correctly.
All right, so everybody keep that in mind.
In one day, you can see a movie 6 times.
John-
if you time it out right.
John can see
6.
a movie 6 times in a day.
Same movie 6 times in a day?
Yes,
Bruh, that's ridiculous.
I get
I
that.
can't
a lot.
believe that. I can't believe that. That's ridiculous. Why not
Now
watch
you
6
understand.
movies, 6 different movies?
Now you
Well-
understand why the general manager of that Regal has to explain it to home office. Who is this guy? Don't let him in. We have to. We're contractually bound.
That means you spent all that day, you spent that entire day watching the same movie over and over again.
Yeah,
And more power to you, man. That's retirement, right? That's
There
retirement.
was a break when he went to Yard House, or that was prior, right?
Yeah, I went to Yard House. Yard House was pre-gaming that day.
Oh, that's right. You
That
said
particular
in the past.
day, I went to Yard House and then I went to see.
Yes. So it's kind of like tailgating before a football game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You see me sitting in the lobby of the movie theater having my sushi. That's sort of like a tailgate. We did do a legitimate tailgate for Avengers Endgame. A buddy of mine
In the
has like
parking lot in the mall.
yes, a buddy of mine had a camping
And the
stove.
cops didn't roll around and
Security guard came over and he looked and he asked for 2 with relish and mustard. So I said, sure.
It's like in the movies when they just throw the steak to the guard dog to get them off their tail, right?
A day in the life of John Cole. That should be its own show.
A buddy of mine has brackets custom installed into. He has an older Dodge Durango, which he just is like a grocery getter car, right? So what we do is we bolt the little electric camp stove in there, so it doesn't go anywhere. So all he does is open up the back, and it slides out about 3 feet, and we're ready to go. He has a little generator for it. Click, boom, we're ready to go.
In all my years of tailgating at football games, I never had anything. I'd make friends with somebody who had all that stuff. I just show up with beer.
Well, part of my catering career is I catered at tailgates. For years, I was over at the stage, like over at JFK, concerts, whatever. You would rent whatever you could get, a laundry truck. This was kind of before the advent of food trucks everywhere. Now you get a food truck online. Click, 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 buy, deposit, you're done. Back then, you sort of had to work with what you could find and modify it as best you could.
Right.
And, concerts and stuff like that were, that was big money. I mean, I'd do one concert and I wouldn't have to work for like a week.
That's good money, yeah.
Everybody's drunk, high, geared up on music, and then you're out there doing hot roast beef sandwiches.
So what do you mean by that, Jay? I'm not sure I understand.
I think he's saying everybody do it now because it didn't work before. So everybody redo it.
Okay. So everybody, sorry, do it again. If you don't mind. Hashtag the EXP all lowercase to enter the drawing.
I gotta tell you, this Joseph Michael Linzer cover is a little bit different, right? Because usually his work is very sort of polished and finished. Right. If you look at this, we'll wind up showing it again. It almost has a tiny little bit of a it's almost like a sketch. Thank you, Dave.
We're Rupenstein. You have the hashtag the EXT, not P.
Oh my goodness.
Just to let you know. Yeah, we're all having problems today. Huh?
I know we are. I want to try to take a picture of this and.
All right, so let's get to another book. Let's do. Ooh, here's one. Dark Hawk #1, signed by Kyle Higgins. Suggested retail of $49.99. We have one. It is #2 of 60 for $29.99. Low number 2.
Be careful how you say Dark Hawk because it can sound like something else, Rex. I'm just going to say that.
What did I say?
Nothing. Just think about it to yourself. Don't. Anyway, this is
completely off the rails tonight.
This is the debut of a new character in the role of the Dark Hawk, and I actually really like this book by Kyle Higgins, and definitely something that will be mined in the future, maybe on Disney Plus or something like that, like a feature of this character.
This is a character that I'll tell you what this seems like. This seems like the kind of story they could do, and I'm not even sure if they're still doing it. The channel that Cloak and Dagger were on. Like a teen coming of age story. I think Dark Hawk would fit right in there. Cloak and Dagger, I guess, are a little bit separate from the kind of MCU, the Disney Plus MCU. I think a story like this just kind of tells itself. I mean, no spoilers, but if you've read the Dark Hawk story, it's a kid finds a helmet, blah, 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 and it's off to the races. And over the years, they've taken Dark Hawk to some kind of weird places. They've taken the character to places which I don't think were appropriate, for the story they were trying to tell. But I think now Higgins is trying to grab this thing and say, hey, look, let's just tell the story of Dark Hawk. Let's not worry about, if he has to be in, some huge multi-crossover thing or whatever. Let's just tell a good story with good art. I mean, look at the cover. The cover's awesome.
John Spilios in the house. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining us. All right, so let's see. Let's do. Oh, and remind everybody to enter the drawing for the Red Sonja blood red cover. Just put in the chats hashtag the EXP all lowercase.
I just texted a picture of this to the Experiences Messenger, Facebook Messenger account. Okay. If it can be gotten up there so people can see this. It very much, like I said, it's not the typical just Michael Linzer stuff that you say.
Right.
Right? Like it has, Linzer's one of those artists that you see his work and you're like, okay. You know what it is right away. It always has a certain look to it. This is like a little bit different, and I don't know if it's because it's the blood red variant or not, but Was, man. It's great.
All right, so let's do another CCA. I know Ron might be interested in this one. WWE #1 signed with cover sketch of Hulk Hogan by Ken Hazer. It's just at retail of $89.99. We have it one available for $40.
Wow, that's a really good likeness.
Isn't it?
I like this because it's older Hulk. It's not
And
Hogan from.
Ron has claimed it. You got it, Ron.
It's not like Hogan from like the 80s. It's like NWO Hogan. And I like that. Even though the bandana says Hulkamania, the face is drawn like Hollywood Hogan. I like that. That's very cool.
All right, so that one is gone, claimed by Ron. Thought you might like that one, Ron. I'm glad.
That's
I'm
a good
glad you
one.
got it, buddy.
Did he do an Ultimate Warrior? I'd like to see that one. That'd be awesome.
Don't know. I got to look through the long box. I'm not sure. It's they're kind of stacked together. So I found a few. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look again to see. That may be the last.
Real quick. That is Hollywood Hogan after NWO when he came back and was fighting with
The Rock at WrestleMania. Oh, okay.
That's Edge. I don't know. I'm just making notes as I go. I just thought I'd have fun. Thunder Lips. Oh my god.
Oh,
The Suburban Commando, man.
Wait. I thought he was Nacho Man.
He was the Nacho Man.
Remember when the Hall? Yep. No. Yeah, Scott Hall first appeared.
Scott Hall, the Nacho Man.
The Nacho Man.
All right, so I will look for more WWE sketch covers by Ken Hazer. That one I was just going through. They're kind of mixed in together in our inventory. I think they were they're originally sold as random on our website. So I'll take a look to see what's left.
Yeah, people would love those, I bet. Especially any of the old school wrestlers. Lots of cool ones.
Yeah, we
did Mankind, right? I think he did Mankind. Mick Foley.
Maybe. Yeah, we did that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Didn't we do that? We did that.
We did
once.
Mick Foley's.
Who else did
it
we
wasn't
do?
Cactus Jack. I think we did it as Mankind.
Yeah, and then who else did we have? I thought we had one more.
I honestly don't remember. Can we get a Freddie Blassie? Nice job.
All right, so let's see. Let's do. You know what? Let's do a.
Slap?
Yeah, let's do a slap.
Slap.
All right, so we have Batman the Imposter #1 CGC graded 9.8.
Yes, Rubenstein said it. We did Sting.
Ah, yes.
I remember that. We did do the Sting. Because I made the joke and I was like, is this the Crow?
Batman the Imposter #1 CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have it as one of our 5-star $50 books.
This was a pretty cool book. Kind of set, not really in the world of the Batman movie, but it's from one of the writers of the Batman movie, and it kind of fits into that world just a little bit, but more of a psychological approach. Great artwork from Andrea Sorrentino. He's one of the best.
I think that's sort of, we talked about this before, like life imitating art, imitating life. You never know which way this is going to go. Movies, TV shows, and video games were all derived from the comic, right? Now you're seeing comics done from the settings of, Arkham, Batman the video game.
Right.
You're seeing this sort of, we'll say, heavily influenced by the movies. We saw Injustice kind of flip-flops back and forth by DC, where, is it a video game with a comic book? Is it a comic book with a video game? You know what I mean? There's a lot there. We've seen Marvel with, Disney Plus with Captain Carter, and now Captain Carter has run a book, Marvel comic. That kind of stuff just didn't happen before. Now it happens all the time.
So we have the one available for, what did I say? 50? I think I said
5-star for $50, was it?
I think I said. Yep. So we have one available for 50,
That's
guaranteed
a great cover.
9.8.
That was a great cover.
And just to remind everybody, you can join the contest. It's the Lucio Carrillo crowdfunder card.
Road Collecting said it was a solid read, that book. Of course, Robbie was mentioning it too, but the fact that you've got sort of the cinematic Batman image in the foreground and the reflection is almost like...
It's almost a little like Miller-esque, isn't it?
It's Miller-esque almost, and the bright blue almost reminds me a little bit of Aparo, like the Aparo coloring for his Batman. It seemed always be more vibrant below.
All right, so just so everybody can guess the Thor movie, how many times has he seen it since last Wednesday? So far, we've got Preston with a guess of 8, Lars Man 7, Dave Cerrone 5, Ron is at 4. All right, so if you want to get in on that, just throw it up in the chats. How many times do you think how many times do you think John has seen the new Thor movie? All right, so other than that, how was your weekend, Robbie?
All right, it was a pretty good weekend. Had a good time on the horror show. We talked about the Brian Usna Film Society, which I loved. Did Rockin' Robbie live last night. That was always fun. And I went and saw Thor yesterday. So just going to go ahead and let everybody know, just once for me. And I thought it was just kind of okay. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I don't think it's what people are going to be wanting, right? Like, it was kind of overly funny to the point where it was like almost like I think Jeremy John said it felt like it was a parody of MCU Thor movies. Right. And that it was they tried to be so funny so often that it undercut any of the dark tone. But at the same time, there's a bunch of it that's just dumb. And I feel like they made Thor really incompetent, and he's regressed in his evolution in the MCU in this film, I think. But I don't know.
He's the unworthy Thor.
Yeah, whatever. But we've seen that in a movie, right?
I don't want to do too many spoilers here, but we
all know what that means.
I know, right? He dies at the end now.
No disrespect.
No, I wouldn't even say that. Alec messaged me a couple nights ago, and he's like, "Let me guess, you've seen Thor like already, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." When he initially texted
he was on the show when we were doing the guessing.
Well, he wanted to know what I thought about it, I guess, before he watched it or whatever. Because I'd seen a screener copy from the unsavory parts of the internet. And the experience was, for me, greatly improved by seeing it in 3D and RPX and all these other different formats I've seen it in. But at the end of the day, for me, this movie was, and I'm not even going to say this is a bad thing, because I love these things on YouTube. When they stitch together all the cinematic scenes of a video game into a quote-unquote movie,
right?
That's what Thor Love and Thunder reminded me of. Like, Thor Love and Thunder is a video game, and all the segments are connected by sort of these similarly themed cinematics, and it feels like somebody took them all and kind of pushed them together, and they said, this is a movie. And I understand, like, one of my favorite ones is that they have Injustice. It's like a 3-hour movie. Somebody took all the scenes from Injustice 1 or 2 and turned it into a massive movie. I love that. When you spend like $200 million, I'm not the biggest Thor fan. I'm more of like a Captain America guy. That being said, I think that he does a great job playing Thor, but there's like every time he's almost like a different Thor all the time. I think the best use of Thor was in that first movie when they were trying to channel Lord of the Rings. I think that's the best way for Thor to be. I mean, if you want to put him in the Avengers, that's fine. But for
he's great. I think he's best in the Avengers films, like in Infinity War and Endgame in particular. That's the best Thor. And then it's so crazy to see that Thor. And I get that we've already had the fat Thor. And the thing is, Chris Hemsworth is really good at comedic timing. So it makes sense because they're playing to his strengths, right? But it's making Thor very jokey. But at the same time, I heard somebody say Thor was always kind of boring trying to read him because it was always these and thous, and at least they found a way for Thor to connect with the audience. But he is, if you go back and rewatch that first Thor movie, you know, he's young, he's brash, he's arrogant, he's cocky, and he learns his lesson. And he starts and then from that point on, he's like a hero. He has gone back in this movie to the point where he's doing boneheaded things. And I get what they're trying to do, but he's doing boneheaded things. And it's just like, I don't know, it's almost like a Three Stooges bit sometimes in the movie. And it's like, it's so weird. It's a clash of tones. It's so weird. But I thought there were moments that were fun and entertaining. And I thought that Gore was actually really good. And I actually liked the ending. I thought the third act was very strong. So
I thought the ending was good. I thought the post-credit scenes were good. I saw some hate on social media towards Korg. And I'll tell you, I don't get it. I thought that was one of the stronger points of the movie. To me, unfortunately, the weakest parts of that movie were Thor and Jane Foster. Those were not the strongest parts of that movie for me. The strongest parts of that movie for me were Valkyrie, Korg, the cameo.
It's the goats for me. The goats are the best part of the movie.
the goats, the Guardians of the Galaxy cameo.
Well, what's going on, buddy?
Everything around the whole Thor, and I understand what they're trying to say. Thor finds love, mortal woman, blah, blah, blah. I got it, right? I think everybody gets that. The fact that he's so, regressed, like Robbie said, you know what I mean? It's just, it's weird. It's a weird vibe. The movie gives off mixed signals. Of course, I've seen it multiple times in the movie theater. Everybody's cheering, everybody's clapping, everybody's having a great time. I think what Marvel needs to do is look at where the crowd, to use a pro wrestling term, look at where the crowd pops are. I counted. I've seen Doctor Strange a lot in the movie theater, in Multiverse of Madness. In the theaters I went to, Princeton, here in Morristown, down in Delaware, where a friend of mine has a place, the biggest crowd pops were generally when, and the movie's been out long enough by now, I don't feel like it's a spoiler, when the Scarlet Witch is fighting with Captain Carter and he knocks her down. She knocks her down. And she's like, have you had enough? And Captain Carter looks at her and she does the thing. She holds her fist up and she says, I can do this all day. The Captain America line. That was consistently, that was the biggest crowd reaction I saw. And I don't know if your movie is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I don't know if you want Captain Carter to have the biggest pop in the movie. And that was my experience. Maybe other people's experiences are different. That's totally fine and valid. I saw Doctor Strange in the movie theater a lot. And consistently, if there was any reaction, like over the top reaction, right, it was the appearance of Captain Carter, and it's when she says the Steve Rogers line of she can do this all day.
All right, so this leads to another interesting question, which we'll talk about.
Or did get nerfed.
I like Christian Bale's performance, though. I do prefer Gore in the comic book, but I did like Christian Bale, what he was doing. He was committed to every scene he was in, and I loved it. Yeah.
I think at some point,
a good actor.
I think at some point people might have thought his performance was over the top, but I'm like, you got to look at what he has to work with. I mean, a lot of times these comments are by people who have not read the story.
Right.
And I'm not saying you have to read every comic book story to enjoy a movie. It helps, but people go to the theater, they watch it, they have a good time.
Right.
If you kind of read the Gore story, it has to be, his name is the God Butcher. It has to be sort of an over-the-top performance.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think he absolutely does that. Again, everything around Thor and Jane Foster really shines. The story's kind of all over the place, but come on. It's 13 years of the MCU. The stories are all over the place. If you have a problem with that, stay out of the theater.
All right, so let's get to another book real quick. We'll do a Dynamite book. Immortal Red Sonja, #4, Incentive Virgin cover, 25-1 ratio by Lee Ricks Lee. It's just at retail of $50, and we have the one available tonight for $40.
Normally, I do not like when a creator makes Red Sonja look like she's like, Riverdale and Archie's, but this cover is so good, and she absolutely nails the chainmail shirt, right, which if you're reading Immortal Red Sonja, is like a, it's like a big part of the book.
Right.
Plus, that's a nice belt right there. It's very striking. I like the belt.
Yeah, for sure.
Collars, belts.
Yeah, Ron, you're right. The first time I saw Thor: Love and Thunder, I saw a screener copy on my laptop, and I was like, wow, okay, that's what you went with. Because I'm thinking, if this is what you released, what did you leave? What did you cut out of the movie?
Right.
But then when I saw it in RPX. I saw it in 3D. It really improves the experience. The music is pumping. Everybody's seen the previews. They know there's a lot of Guns N' Roses in this thing. This is, I think, almost like a little bit of throwback to a popcorn movie. This is a movie where you go, you get your popcorn, your soda, you're with your friends, you have a great time. You drink like a 96-ounce soda, and then you go home.
All right. Well, this is going to raise an interesting question. It's so in the last several releases, but in the MCU, it's been it hasn't been overwhelming. It seems like the peak seemed to happen at Endgame. I don't know.
Well, the storytelling peak of the initial, we'll call it the first major storyline of the MCU, that's exactly it. Even Kevin Feige has said, look, it took us 10 years to get from I Am Iron Man to Avengers Assemble. right? That's like 10 years of real time.
Right.
Of going to the movies and supporting, reading the comics, reading back issues, whatever. So when you get to Avengers Assemble, that level of crowd reaction is like being at a pro wrestling match and the main event comes on. That's like the reaction I saw, like consistently. People lost their minds when Captain America said that.
But then
get back to that.
If you go back to phase 1, though, right? You had in the first Iron Man movie, you had the tease of the Avengers already, right? Mm-hmm. And then it literally just took a few movies to get to the Avengers. And then at the end of the Avengers, you got Thanos, right? So that's 5 movies to build straight from just introducing one character into the Avengers and then leading into Thanos, right?
Yep.
We've had 6 movies and like countless hours of Disney Plus shows in phase 4. And there is no clear like moment. You were talking about pops in movie theaters.
Yep.
All people want right now is just like some like semblance of a tease of where we're going, right? They just want to see Doom or Kang or Galactus or Mephisto. They just want to see that. And they're not getting that. And here's the thing. It seems almost like back in phase 1, Marvel had to try. I don't think they're trying anymore. They're not trying hard to keep our attention. I think they're taking it for granted, and I think that can hurt them in the long run.
Yeah, this is an interesting topic because what we're seeing is obviously people have been far more critical of the latest releases. But we got to go to our next break. So
when we come back, we'll do back-to-back Spider-Man books when we come back.
Yeah, we'll definitely do the Spider-Gwen slab book for you, Lars, man. All right, so stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Thanks for tuning into The Experience. Help us out and hit subscribe over on YouTube and click the bell when you do. Need some help? Scan the QR code in the bottom corner. Who would win? Who would win, Batman or Superman? It's the age-old debate, except it's so much more complicated than that. Nerd Killer Warfare every week on The Experience is your chance to debate other nerds in the questions we've all been asking for years, except we take those debates and turn them up to 11. Go to bit.ly/EXP casting or scan the QR code to be part of the show.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey. And behind every page, there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today. You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
And we're back.
We are back.
All right. So what do we promise? Oh, we promised Spider-Gwen.
We'll do. You know, why don't we do back-to-back stuff? Because who is it? Lars Man was looking at this. We'll do the Spider-Gwen.
All right.
And then I think there's a slab ASM or something.
No, there is no slab ASM today. There's
maybe I
missed Deadpool. Which all right. So let's do Spider-Gwen number 19. CGC graded 9.8, suggested retail of $89.99. We have one available for $50 tonight.
Nice Jubilee cover. I like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's just. I'll tell you, this almost has a little bit of a slight, maybe Sienkiewicz vibe to it.
So available for let me see, what did I say? $50 tonight. Guaranteed 9.8. So let us know, Lars Man, if that's one you're looking for. There is an ASM CCA though. That is correct. So we can do that one next.
Sure.
Let's do this. Came out. This came in that last batch of CCAs we got from Hazer. So a new Spidey kind of headshot. Amazing Spider-Man number 800, signed with cover sketch of Spidey by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have this one available for $62 for $19.62.
Well, Rubenstein, I tell you to send him the Rex, but when I send stuff to Rex, he never seems to get it.
No, but I'll get yours with Rubenstein. No problem there.
Yeah, seriously, all jokes aside, we tell us that this is for everybody. Comments, questions, middle finger emojis you want to send to us, send them the Rex. I don't read that stuff. Lars Man wants to get
buddy.
It's a good pickup. That's nice.
That's nice. That's real nice.
All right, so that one is gone. Let's see. Then we had, let's do this one real quick. Despicable Deadpool number 287, lenticular cover, CGC graded 9.8. And I absolutely love this one. I know Lars Man's actually got several of them. The lenticular is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You betcha, Preston. Actually, I get all your emails, guys. I get Ron's emails. He sends us jokes just about every week, sometimes multiple times a week. And some of them, the one he sent over the weekend is pretty funny. Should I tell it?
Sure.
Enough. All right. So this is a joke that, and forgive me, Ron, if I mangle it, right?
Hold on a second. I better open something up if you're going to be.
Gee, thanks for bringing one for me, too.
I should have brought one. Beer, not beer, by the way. I'm sure Nick is like, oh, God, is he opening a beer?
No, it's a margarita.
No, it's ginger beer.
All right. So the joke Ron sent me, right? So a pregnant woman or a husband go to the hospital, and the OBGYN has a new device. It's called a pain sharing device. So the device can actually direct the pain of labor to the husband. So the doctor says, you know what? We'll start low at like 25, 10% or whatever, just to make sure, because this is probably the worst pain you've ever felt. So wife starts going to labor. Doctor turns on the pain sharing machine, turns it to 10%. Husband goes, I feel fine. You can crank it up, right? Doctor turns it to 25%. And he's warning the husband that this is more pain you've ever felt. He cranks it 25%, nothing. He says, I feel fine, doctor. So he says, crank it up. They crank it up to 50, still fine. 75%, still fine. Finally says, you know what? Crank it up to 100. I will take all the pain. All right. And doctor says, sure thing. Cranks it all the way up. They have the baby. Husband's fine. Didn't feel a thing. And then they get home, and they find the mailman dead on the porch.
Nice.
Keep sending them, Ron. They do bring a smile to my face. I got to tell you.
That's good stuff.
That was a great one. I'm reading this one through going, where's this going? All right. So as always, we have the Dynamite 10-pack available as a thank you to our viewers. 10 random Dynamite titles. Suggested retail of $40 or higher, which means each one will have a cover price of $3.99 or higher. And we have it available tonight, as always, for $5.50 a book. You really can't lose on that one. So if you want to catch up on your Dynamite titles, or you haven't gotten them, you haven't picked one up before, this is a great opportunity, and you really can't lose at 50 cents a copy.
Some of these have variants in them. We talked about this before. Some of them have variants in them. Some of them, and we will try to fill requests. I know that I think Lars Man, Triple B, I forget who else, and they had requests. So we will do everything we can to fill out requests. If you buy a lot more than one or two,
it gets a little bit difficult. Oh, Mikey G, welcome in the house. Welcome, Mikey G. And to remind everybody, yes, if you want to enter the drawing for the, what do we got? Immortal Red Sonja.
Mhm.
The red variant
Blood
cover,
red variant.
cover. All you have to do is put in the chats hashtag the EXP all lowercase, and we're going to do the drawing right after the best offers.
I sent the image to the EXP.
Yeah, Jay, were you able to get that, or hopefully you was?
Yeah, just so people can see it's, it's not it's just like a cell phone picture or whatever. But
actually, if you want to email it to Amy can also put it up on Slack for us. He might have easier access to that.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. And you can email stuff to Amy. She doesn't have a junk folder.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Have you asked her?
No, actually, I haven't. I just assumed. She likes you.
No, I have not.
She actually said, well, that's what she says anyway.
Hey, Ken Bird.
Hey, Ken Bird, what's going on, buddy? All right, so I
went to school with a guy named Ken Bird. He was a super cool guy.
I'm sure it's not the same guy. Ken Bird, are you 85 years old or older? Then you may have gone to school with John. All right, let's do a metal cover. What do you think? All right,
Yeah.
Vampverse #1 premium metal cover by Adam Hughes. Just a retail of $100. We have one available for $69 for the first year that Vampirella first appeared, 1969. And I love these metal covers. And Amy took a picture of this metal cover. As you can see, there is, you don't see the phone in there.
Yeah,
Amy, you're going to have to tell me how you do that.
How come I don't see her phone in there, her arm, her baseball cap?
Because she's better at it than I am. So, yeah. Amy, you're going to have to explain to me how you did that. How you didn't get the reflection of the phone and stuff on the metal covers.
That's a great cover.
Amy, your voice got deeper. Yeah,
it's a Rexflexion, not a reflection.
The Rexflexion is extra. Okay, that collar is popping.
Yeah, I was about to comment on that collar. It's nice.
No,
could be a little bit bigger though. Could be a little bit bigger, that collar, but.
Oh my Lord! All right, so let's see. What should we? Oh, yeah. So the question that we talked about before going into the break. So what are we thinking here? I mean, is it gotten to the point where the MCU is kind of oversaturated?
I think so. Honestly, I feel like, because when I have my live streams and stuff, I gauge the reaction from people, and it seems like a lot of people are still digging the movies, but a lot of people are like, there's a lot of content, but it doesn't feel as exciting as it used to. There's some kind of novelty that's gone. I don't know if it's because they're trying to introduce new characters, if it feels like the problem is Endgame wrapped everything up. They should have started teasing something else in the last phase there. Do you know what I'm saying? To have momentum to carry through, because now it feels like they're trying to basically start over, but there's more content. It is oversaturated. There are tons of people that haven't been keeping up with the shows. If you didn't watch WandaVision all the way through, you're probably a little confused when you watch Doctor Strange, And so so I don't know. Some of the magic, I think the movies at times, especially now, they've gotten too formulaic. And obviously, I think everybody who's involved in making these movies is trying to do their best job at some form or fashion. But I just feel like overall, they're taking for granted that people are going to go see them. And I think Jay said, what is their competition? Well, this year, their competition is Top Gun Maverick, because that's the biggest moneymaker of the year. And their competition is movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's become a critical darling and people have responded to it. So don't take it for granted. Remember, Hollywood used to be dominated by Westerns, right? And the superhero movie could do that too. So we got to be careful with this stuff if we want it to have longevity beyond what it's already had.
Now, I know that Feige had talked about the summit. Has that happened yet?
There was a summit. I don't know if it's the one you're talking about, but they had a thing at the Star Wars Dan Fest or whatever it was last month.
No. That the executives were supposed to go on a summit where they plan out the next 10 years of.
I don't know if he just said the other day in a comment that they're plotted out to like 2032.
So I'm just curious because I feel, okay, so Lars Mann's saying MCU is not oversaturated. It's about keeping the writing fresh. That is like saying Marvel was oversaturated before John Byrne, Chris Claremont, and the Simonsons started to create.
Well, when your demand is low and your supply is high, that is oversaturation. And I think that right now with adding in the Disney Plus shows, I think a lot of people don't follow those, you know, and they're like, the movies happen so often now, they've lost some kind of specialness. Now, obviously, they're still making money, right? And I don't think it's oversaturated, but it can get there because as interest wanes and more projects comes up, that does lead to oversaturation, right?
I think Emmy Comics it brings up a good point. It doesn't feel like there's a cohesive, focused plan. It feels like it's kind of all over the place.
Well, it seems like they tip off, and I don't want to really spoil, you know, Thor: Love and Thunder for people because I realize not everybody races out and sees everything the day it came out, although you should. It seems like at the end of every movie now, they kind of tease something, whether it's Secret Invasion or maybe something else, and I think people don't know what to expect next. I'll just say this. I won't tell you what it is. I don't think anyone's shocked that there's post-credit scenes in the Marvel movie. One of the post-credit scenes sort of tips off what you might be seeing moving forward in Marvel in kind of general, maybe Thor specifically. I don't kind of know.
Right, I see what you're saying. So Emmy Comics, good point. I would have expected a main villain by now. And Dwayne Zapane says it went downhill for me when they said you had to see Captain Marvel to understand Endgame, and that movie was not important in the long run to that film.
I think that was too strong a statement when they said that. Yeah. I think seeing Captain Marvel maybe made Endgame a little bit richer for certain people who had read that. But there were plenty of people that saw Endgame and they got it. I mean, we're not talking about like super intricate Stanley Kubrick level filmmaking here.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're still talking about stuff based off of comic books. I don't care if it's DC, Marvel, you know, even The Walking Dead, like to jump back and forth from TV to movies. I mean, it's a comic book.
Right.
Why? I mean, people would spend hours in these chat rooms and Facebook groups debating The Walking Dead. I'm like, you're trying to apply logic to zombies. Take a deep breath. You know what I mean? That's just not.
All right, so it is time for John's favorite part of the show.
The Rex Cap.
The Rex Cap. All right. All right, so in case you just joined us, this is what we've gone through so far. As always, Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, suggested retail $40 or higher, and we have it, as always, as a thank you to our viewers, for $5, 50 cents a copy. Then we did Dark Hawk #1, signed by Kyle Higgins. Suggested retail $49.99. We have it available for $29.99. And then if you're into low numbers, it is #2 of 60 signed.
Oh, that's nice. That's real nice.
And then we had one of our best offer items of the night, Stray Dogs, Dog Days #1, Dynamic Forces exclusive Virgin variant by Tony Fleeks and Trish Forstner, signed by Tony Fleeks. Suggested retail of $49.99, and Lars Mann is currently in the lead at $19.92. It is 11 of 125. Then we did Dark Knight 3, the Master Race #1, AOD exclusive, signed by Dale Keown. Suggested retail of $69.99. It is one of our 5-star at $50 books. Love that cover. All right, then we had, let's see, our other best offer book of the night, Justice League of America #1, signed by Steve Orlando and Ken Hazer, with cover sketch of Batman by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $99.99, and Creative Keep is in the lead at $40. Then we did Despicable Deadpool #287, lenticular covers, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have one available for $69.99.
Oh, Josh, that's very cool. Look at that. He found emojis for the Rex Cap. It's a T-Rex in a graduation cap. That's a good job,
well
man.
done, Josh.
That's well done, Josh.
Kudos. All right, then we had Spider-Gwen #19, CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. and it is one of our 5-star at $50 books. All right, and then we had Batman the Imposter, #1, CGC graded 9.8, suggested retail of $89.99, and it is one of our 5-star at $50 books. Then we did Immortal Red Sonja #4 rather, incentive virgin cover, 25-to-1 ratio by Lee Ricks Lee, suggested retail of $50. We have one available for $40. And then the Army of Darkness versus Reanimator Necronomicon Rising #1, virgin cover by Arthur Sudam, suggested retail of $50, and we have one available for $40. And then we had Vampyverse #1, premium metal cover by Adam Hughes, suggested retail of $100, and we have one available for $69 the year Vampirella first appeared. And Preston, I enjoyed Captain Marvel as well, but your previous statement. Your previous statement was very true. It did not. You could have watched Endgame and not watched Captain Marvel. But I thought it was a good movie. But yeah, I gotta say, maybe it's the frequency of movies coming out so quickly, one right after the other. But it does feel like it's lost a little something. Not entirely sure where to put. Where I can point at is the cause. Everything everybody said is sort of correct. But it does feel like there isn't the same cohesive sort of plan that they had going with, from Iron Man to Endgame. It just felt like there was a direction it was moving into, This one you got Morbius, you've got, Doctor Strange. It's just kind of
for the sake of the discussion, I can't include anything Sony does. Sony is sort of out there. I mean, this is a situation where, but I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I won't.
No, fair enough.
I won't slam Morbius because I understand they're kind of trying to do their own thing with Spider-Man or whatever. Disney can't seem to buy the rights back, whatever. Okay, fine. They can do what they want to do. But in and of the sort of contained MCU, the Marvel Studios MCU, I think we've been teased at least 3 separate sort of next big events. One was the Multiverse of Madness, and I think everybody who's watched the Multiverse of Madness gets the impression that's not done. There'll be something with, Mephisto or Dormammu or whatever. If you watched Thor: Love and Thunder, I'll just say that there is kind of a tip-off to what could be coming next, the next big thing.
Right.
We'll call it the next Endgame. What the next Endgame could be in one of the post-credit scenes there. And then I think we had Captain Marvel and a bunch of other stuff that are kind of tipping off Secret Invasion. And they've even said Secret Invasion is kind of what they're looking at next.
Well, they're doing Secret Invasion as a TV show on Disney Plus. It's like a Nick Fury vehicle, right? It's for him, Samuel L. Jackson. So they're doing Secret Invasion. I get the idea that what we're building into, we got all the Kang stuff from Loki, right? And Kang's going to be in the Ant-Man movie. And then you've got the reference to the incursions that are still happening, because in the post-credit scene in Doctor Strange, the new character that's introduced says they're still happening. So the incursions are still happening. That leads to, I think, something very similar to Hickman's Secret Wars. And I think that's what we're building to. But all they need to do, and I appreciate the post-credits in Thor, and we're not going to spoil it, but I think that's just setting up the next Thor movie, right?
I thought that too.
Yeah. All they had to do, all people wanted was Kang to show up or something. Just one little bit where Kang just shows up and he's like, I missed my chance for this one. I have to go back further or something like that.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you look at what's left for Marvel to cover, we've had Endgame, which we'll say is a level 1, all hands on deck battle, right? Now we've talked about the multiverse, and with Quantumania, we're kind of talking about the quantum universe and time travel, which, those two things are kind of going hand in hand a little bit, right? So obviously we have Kang from from Loki. We have Loki from Loki, that whole sort of time variance authority thing. I remember the time variance authority was like a Fantastic Four thing. You know what I mean? That was sort of I don't know if that was Walt
Yeah,
Simonson.
it was a Walt Simonson thing because it went from Thor into Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Yeah. It was almost like poking fun at corporate life, right? And your Doom. There is no other. I'm guessing, Lars, man, Doom is being saved for the Fantastic Four, right? They've talked about. Well, they've talked about. I guess Namor is going to be a Mesoamerican figure. Like Atlantis always had these little bit of roots to maybe Greco-Roman culture, but from what I've read, Namor is going to be rooted in Mesoamerican culture.
See, and I don't want to get like too deep into it, but there's this whole theory that the kingdom of Atlantis could also have been what they thought the New World was, right? Like that the Mayan culture could be something like that Western, like the New World, like the natives over here, like that was the civilization that maybe they were referring to. So there is an idea there. So I think that's a cool kind of connection, actually.
And I'm trying to think of the other Namor thing they had, where you're looking at how they're changing everything up, right? Where they've got Namor now, and they're moving everything to, we have kind of Mediterranean influence in Thor: Love and Thunder. I mean, I guess people saw the preview. You've seen the preview. Zeus, a Greco-Roman god, is there. And the biggest rumor now is that Dr. Doom and Latveria are going to be shifted from being like a Baltic or Slavic nation to a Mediterranean nation. So it seems like maybe there's a little bit of, and I don't know if it's quite as distinct a tip off of here's Kang, which I think people, that's exactly what they're looking for. They'd love a post-credit scene with Kang. But I think it looks like maybe they're setting up some sort of, I don't know if necessarily the Eternals, but they're setting up something for the Mediterranean.
Right.
And I can't remember off the top of my head anything that Marvel did, a big crossover in the Mediterranean, but that's not to say they can't just take something and drop it there.
Right. So it'll be interesting. I mean, they're not beyond changing the origins of characters within the universe. So,
well, certain things they really stuck to, like the Black Panther.
Right.
We're getting another Wakanda movie. I guess Wakanda's forever, and there's a lot of sort of hints, people confirming that Killmonger or a version of Killmonger will be in Black Panther. That seemed to me to be the most obvious thing after the passing of oh God, I can't think of his name now. The guy who played the Black Panther.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman. Thank you. For a second, I was trying to blank. They're sort of. I think we're going to put this. It's too easy now for them to just put Michael B. Jordan in as Killmonger and say he's Killmonger from a what if world where he's not evil or he's less evil.
Right.
Or without having T'Challa, they sort of take the next best thing. I know in the comic his sister becomes the Black Panther or whatever. I don't know how well that's going to work. I don't think that actress, a character, not the actress. The actress does a fine job, but I don't think that character has been given enough tickets to sort of carry a movie as the Black Panther.
Yeah.
Well, Triple B brings up a good point. Sounds like it's going to take forever to get to the X-Men.
Maybe.
I'm fine with that.
Bite your tongue, sir.
You saw Professor X. That's all you need to see.
Bite your tongue, sir.
Well, the biggest pop we're going to get in a movie theater is going to be the first time those claws pop in a post-credit scene. You just wait and see. People are going to lose their minds.
All right, let's do another book real quick. We have Weapon H #1 trading card variant, signed in gold by Greg Pak. It's just at retail of $89.99. We have it as a 5-star at $50 book. It is number 3 of 21 signed, and it is signed in gold. And if you're in the low numbers, it's number 3. And this is another cover that I love because I love.
We talked about this before. Weapon H. This is a character I would like to see more of. This is a character I would like to see in the MCU. There's absolutely no reason with the way they've sort of. We're going to have She-Hulk. We're going to have, I guess, Abomination will return to She-Hulk. There's no reason. There's no way where we can't. There's no reason why we couldn't have Weapon H, which would also be a nice way to transition in a new Wolverine.
Yeah, I was about to say we need to have the X-Men and Wolverine first, don't we?
You know what? Yeah. You can actually you could maybe put the cart before the horse in this specific instance, right? Like you have Weapon H make an appearance, which sort of leads the X-Men to come out into the light. You know, you have Logan sitting on the couch, beer, cigar, kids running around. There's a news attack. The Hulk is tearing something up. Immediately, people realize, well, that doesn't look like the Hulk. And then in the middle of the fight, the Hulk pops claws, which is immediately sort of like, hey, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, then he realizes Weapon X technically might be closed, but Weapon H is not.
Right. Josh says, I still say mutants are the Hail Mary pass. We won't see the claws pop until the ticket sales start to plummet. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's tackle that. We got to go to our next break in about a minute. But here's the thing. If you want to enter into the Immortal Red Sonja drawing, remember to put hashtag the EXP, all lowercase. All right. And if you want to guess how many times John has seen Thor since last Wednesday, let me read off the guesses I have so far. Preston guessed 8, Lars Man 7, Dave Cerrone 5, Ron 4, Marcus 10, Rogue collecting 12, where Rupenstein 7, and John Spilios 6. All right, so that will be a Lucio Purillo crowdfunder exclusive card of Vampirella, right? Vampirella, a beautiful piece. Okay, Triple B is going with 9. All right.
And we'll see if I sent that email to Amy. It went directly to her spam folder. Yeah. We'll see if we can get that image up from.
All right,
either
Dwayne's a
can't
pain.
get it from the address or whatever.
Dwayne's a pain. Triple B guessed 9 already, so give me a new guess and I will reread what's already been guessed. 8, 7, 5, 4, 9. Oh wait. Oh no, that's Jay. Never mind. So you're good, Triple B. Marcus 10, 12, 7, 6, and 9. So those Dwayne's a pain will take 6. John Spilios has already taken 6. I'm sorry, buddy. All right, low hit. Okay, so we're giving 2 things away tonight. The Immortal Red Sonja, and that is our official giveaway tonight. And all you have to do is put in the chat hashtag the EXP. Low hit 9's gone. Triple B just guessed 9. And Dwayne's a pain, same thing. And then this is our unofficial kind of contest. You know what? That's okay. You know what? If you guys want to guess 9, I can probably, if we have multiple winners, I've got multiples of these the Vampirella crowdfunding.
Yeah, I mean, what do you care? It's Nick stuff anyway. Just give it away.
Good point. All right. So, all right. Jen is guessing 2. Jen, you obviously don't know John very well. Let's see.
What was the?
All right. So Dwayne wants to take 6. You want 9 or 6, Dwayne? It's up to you. All right. I'm going to do multiple entries. Let's see. Who else did I miss? So I got you down, Dwayne, is 6. And Jen is 2, and low hit is also 9. Okay, got it. All right. So we will do that drawing immediately after we come back from the next break. So, believe me, Jen, you could go double digits and it wouldn't be out of the question. But we'll be right back after this break.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, hello there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome, everybody, to Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I'm your host, Henry Kumpa. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in the minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody! Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody! Welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectables.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box?
What's in the box?
Comic culture and sales.
All right, and we're back. All right, so to answer a couple questions, Lars Man, nap time is not subtracted as long as John enters the movie theater and sits down. We don't really care if he's conscious or not, okay? So it does not count.
The term watch is subjective.
Lars Man, no statue tonight, no mega pack tonight.
Why are you even here if I'm not here and there's no statue?
Or a mega pack. What's up? Why are you slacking, Rex?
This week's comic books.
I pick up my books. Although actually I've gotten to the point now with my texting relationship with creators, I just asked them what's coming on this week. Janine Atchison started laughing. I was like,
wow, that was like a whole kind of name drop all at once.
It was. That was a big one.
That was a great segue.
I said to Janine on Facebook, I'm like, can you just tell me what happened this week? I don't want to go do the show. And she's like, you're already reading the book before everybody else. Go to the show.
And next week, John will read the book before the creators actually write and draw it. All right, so let's do another book, Invincible Iron Man #1, signed by Brian Michael Bendis. It is number 3 of 63 signed. We have one available for $49.99.
Hard signature to get nowadays. Not doing pretty much any con appearances, so not that I know of.
All right.
We haven't done a mega pack. What I'd like to do like a dynamite pack, a dynapack.
You just love making up these names.
Well, he nicknamed the company Dynamite so he can do that.
I don't think that's why. But I will do my best to try to put some together and see what statues we still have. Josh once says, I used to work at a movie theater, and sometimes people would come out and ask us to wake up snoring people.
It's true.
There was somebody snoring in one of the viewings.
Are you sure it wasn't you, John?
No. I've never fallen asleep in a theater. When I'm in a movie, I'm in my happy place. It'd be like saying, did I fall asleep at like Disney World? Nope.
There's nowhere to lay down Disney World, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere to lay down Disney World.
Oh, there are if you know where to look. It's not that small a world after all. You can find it.
All right. So let's get to the next book. And remind everybody, you know what? All right. Has everybody gotten their guesses in? All right.
I'm surprised you haven't done Cowboy Bebop because I know you love that.
I love it.
It's right up there, and it's great.
I know. We'll do that in a second. Let's get the first contest drawing out of the way. We're gonna do the John and how many times did he see Thor: Love and Thunder? Preston, hold on. Listener,
Preston, that's one of the things we talked about. We haven't nailed it down specifically yet. Nick thought it was a neat idea. Rex thought it was a neat idea. Trying to put together maybe a pack with like an artist pack. Yeah, or like a character pack. You know what I mean?
think John may have tried to email me this idea, but it keeps going to spam folder that we created.
No, but this is one you actually thought was a good idea. This was a one.
Yeah, I know, but you had to tell me that when you physically came in here because I never got an email. All right, so I'm going to reread everybody's guesses. Oh, ME Comics is at 6. Okay. Comics is at 6. And all right, and we'll do if multiple people win, I have more of the cards, so everybody will get one. The heck with it. All right, so to reread everybody's guesses, Preston is at 8, Lars Van is at 7, Dave Cerrone is at 5, Ron is at 4, Marcus is at 10, Rogue Comics is at Rogue Collecting is at 12, where Rupenstein is at 7, John Spilios is at 6, Triple B is at 9, Dwayne is 6, Jen is 2, Lohit is 9, Ron, surprisingly, is at 7.5.
Oh, but I fell asleep during the movie.
No, you walked out halfway through, or got in late.
And Emmy Comics is at 6. You can guess, Nick, but you can't. You're not eligible.
I'm still at 0. I think he photoshopped pictures.
Nick, the 0 is never.
I'll tell you what's going to happen
I'm
next
going to
week.
tell you straight up, but I'm going to write down 0. But
Regal
it's never going to win.
Regal's
This
like
is
10
John.
minutes. Regal's 10 minutes from here. I'm going to
This is
stop
the
by
man
and
that gets up at
let's go see a movie.
3 o'clock in the morning, cranks up his espresso machine so he can see the latest drop.
Thank God Amazon's The Boys was at midnight our time.
For John.
No, but I messaged Nick had already seen it. I messaged him. I'm like, you have to see it right now. It was like Thursday night, and
all right.
he'd already seen it.
So Ken Bird is at 3. All right.
That was so good. Oh my God.
All right. I'll revise my guess to a half. He went in to take the picture and left.
If
Nick,
I've seen it
I'm
more,
going to tell you that
if
ain't
I've
going
seen
to
it
happen
more
either. Ever.
Took a change of clothes.
John.
Took a change of clothes. Went to the bathroom. Got changed. Took another picture.
If I've seen it more than one half, can I be publisher for the day?
No.
No.
Because Nick already knows his answer is incorrect.
Listen, you already watched so many different trailers on YouTube.
Yeah.
That you pieced together enough of the movie that you could fake it.
And I'll tell you right now, I think that's part of the problem. All seriousness, they put too much stuff out there, and I think if you put a little bit out there, people want to go see the movie. I talked to a ton of people, and they kind of knew what Thor was going to be, right? They're like, okay, I get it. There's a fight scene. Yeah, I think particularly with this movie.
3 years, 11 months, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. The Guns N' Roses soundtrack. Okay, I kind of got it.
Thor, we need you to be a man.
All right, so there it is.
Odin didn't die.
While
Odin
Nick's
left
in
of
while Nick's in the
embarrassment.
room, we might as well do the drawing. All right.
Cool.
So, thank you.
Drum roll.
Nick's walking out of the room. He doesn't want to be part of the
All
drawing.
right, which one are we doing?
We're doing the Vaporella for Rio card.
Okay.
All right. So,
doesn't that automatically go to Dave Cerrone?
Suddenly Dave wakes up.
All right. So
he keeps you guys honest.
John Cole, how many times since last Wednesday when we had the predicted guess? Okay, that number was 6.
Yes.
The predicted number was 6.
So John Cole, how many times have you seen Thor?
Ronald, by the way, Ronald, all kidding aside, I think you're right. I think they will be okay.
Those kids will get fired.
Highest launch of a Thor movie to date. I think they'll be fine.
I'm sure Kevin Feige was watching our show and was panicking as to our reaction.
Absolutely. Sure. He was panicking. He was panicking that we might give away a few more spoilers.
He's thinking, who are these two old guys?
Rex does business, but John's crazy. He says anything on the show.
Thank God you're a ghost.
So John
is an overachiever.
John, what is the number?
The number is 8.
The number is 8. So Preston is our winner and the only winner. Nobody else guessed 8.
Today is the first movie since our last. Today's the last day since our last show that I did not see the movie.
I'm sorry to have interrupted your movie.
You know what? I had opened the Regal app and I was seriously looking at a 4:00 show in 3D, and then I'm like, oh God, it's Rex's sales show. So I didn't get tickets. But...
No, it's Rex and John's sales show. All right. So yeah, 8 times. I told you guys. Come on, seriously. I actually would have guessed higher.
It would have been 9 times if I had been able to get that. Like I didn't think about it right away, and then the show I wanted to see was sold out. Like I wanted to see it in a certain theater. I wanted to see it again. I'd only seen it once in 3D. I'd seen it 5 times in RPX.
Well, Triple B and Low Hit are very disappointed in that fact because they had guessed 9. So, unfortunately, the show ruined it for you guys. I apologize.
People guessing 9, blame Rex.
All right, so let's see. Let's do another book. Oh wait, I have to.
You
okay, Preston winner. I got to make a note that Preston is the winner. All right, so let's do John's favorite character, Batman number 107, signed by James Tynion IV.
Josh is right. Do you see the name of the new show for the next series of promos? Comic Collectables with Rex, and that guy who would rather be at the movies.
All right, Batman number 107, signed by James Tynion IV, suggested retail of $49.99. We have one available for $39.99. It is number 8 of only 50 signed.
That is a crazy cover.
It
wow.
is.
Gorgeous cover. Gorgeous.
Man, I'll be the first to admit I'm not a Batman guy. The covers in we'll say the last 2-3 years have been, I think Batman's a character that's maybe been a little bit overexposed. Constant movies, constant this, constant that. I think they've kind of avoided that oversaturation by doing these amazing covers. I think the one we saw for Batman Immortal, whatever it was, that might be the best Batman cover I've seen in years, actually.
Let's see. Lars Man says, I thought Foodie John would have food-related interruptions. No, he gets Grubhub delivered in the movie theater, so that's not a problem. Lars Man, I hate DC, but their covers have really stepped up.
They really have, yeah.
I agree. So,
they grabbed Doc Shaner. They grabbed a bunch of these people. Like, you see Doc Shaner, and the first time you saw Doc Shaner anywhere, your thought was, this guy should draw Superman. And so, of course, they get the guy, and eventually he's drawing Superman. Right. So, one of the Superman artists. And the covers, the stuff they've done has just been...
All right, so last 2 books that we got to get to, and then I'm going to do another recap. All right, so we got Action Comics number 1000, the 2000 Decades variant, signed in silver by Dan Jurgens. Suggested retail of $69.99. It is one of our 5-star and $50 books, and it is number 9 of 25, signed in silver.
Having a Dan Jurgens signed book is just one of those things I think every collector should have one of. I don't even care what the book is.
Hit that thumbs up.
Hit that thumbs up, Nick says.
And yes, anything Dan Jurgens you need to own in life. Death of Superman.
Yeah.
50-year veteran, one of the nicest guys in the industry. He was one of the best Thor writers of all time, working with John Romita Jr., Andy Kubert, Stuart Immonen. That Thor run was incredible.
You're telling me the Booster Gold guy did Thor?
He did. Sensational Spider-Man.
He did a good Captain America run, too, after Mark Waid.
And I say the Booster Gold thing with respect. I love Booster Gold. It wasn't meant as he's one of my favorite DC characters, Booster Gold.
And Captain America, I will say, it's about time they collect that book into an omnibus.
There we go.
That was a good run. So to me, it's funny. Dan Jurgens is kind of like Gil Kane and Ross Andru, where you feel like they've been DC guys their own entire lives, or even Carmine Infantino, who spent 4 years at Marvel.
Yeah.
But they spent a lot of time at Marvel. You forget about it. Dan was there for like 7 years.
Well, this blew my mind. Someone said next year, assuming he's still at DC, Brian Bendis will have been at DC in like that lead role as long as he was at Marvel. And that's crazy to me because he was at Marvel for...
No, Bendis won't be at the lead role at DC that long.
See, you know what? I saw that.
Bendis has been at DC only since 2018.
Yeah, and he was at Marvel since like 2000.
I don't know if they're talking about as a lead writer. I don't know what they were talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Marvel, he was there with Ultimates. What was that, Ultimates? 2000?
It was like 99 and 2000 he was doing that.
Yeah, 2000.
He was at a show talking about...
Do you remember what they were going to call the Ultimate line? And the reason why I remember it was 2000 is because it was before 9/11.
Like the Millennium or whatever.
Ground Zero.
Ground Zero.
Yeah, that didn't work after that.
Well, they wouldn't have. It would have. They got lucky.
Can we get the printer on the phone real quick? Thanks.
10 minutes left on best offers.
All right, so let's do a quick
10 minutes
recap
left
of
on
the 2
thumbs
best
up.
offer items. Stray Dogs, Dog Days number 1, Dynamic Forces exclusive Virgin variant by Tony Fleeks and Trish Forstner, signed by Tony Fleeks. Suggested retail of $49.99, and Lars Man is currently in the lead at $19.92. And then our second best offer book was Justice League of America number 1, signed by Steve Orlando and Ken Hazer, with cover sketch of Batman by Ken Hazer. And Creative Keep is currently in the lead at $40. So less than 10 minutes left if you are looking to get in on the best offers. And okay, let's see. Rex Cap, it's coming, buddy. Let me get the last book. The last book of the night is Red Sonja Valentine's Special Black and White Premium Metal Cover by John Royal. Suggested retail of 100. We have one available for $50.
Those Valentine specials were very cool.
They were.
How did she do it without getting the reflection, man?
That's a cool
And
cover.
you got to see that trick.
She might do this. Like she'll stand over here and sort of do like a.
Oh, that's way too
I'm
much.
sure it's all in the angle.
Oh, would still reflect though. See?
You're absolutely right.
Thank you. See, there
Did
must
you
be a
do the
trick.
Cowboy Bebop thing?
I did not, did I?
Hey, you said that was the
Oh,
last
gosh,
book.
I'm sorry.
I'm saying that because every time I look at the screen, I'm seeing it. It's like a bright green.
All right, so this is the last book. And nobody did, Ron, but it won't be you because you got a full set, my friend. Dwayne's a Pain is claiming Red Sonja, just to make sure. Let's see.
That is such a nice book, that Red Sonja book.
Dwayne's a Pain. You got it, Dwayne.
Look at, you're right. Sonja Valentine was awesome.
All right, so that one is yours, Dwayne. All right, so the last book of the night, I'm sorry, I lied, is Cowboy Bebop, #1, signed with cover sketch of Spike by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is our 5-star at $50 book for the night. So, Comics with Mueller, hey, thanks for joining us.
Bueller.
Yeah, isn't
He's on the road. He's like at a gas station. He checked in. Nice, man.
I think last I heard he was in Montana, so I'm surprised he's got internet signal.
He's got a big satellite dish on top of the Bueller-mobile, right?
I've been in it. No big satellite dish, but he's got some nice trinkets and gadgets on there.
Nice.
So, let's see.
Dude, are you going to buy this? This should be your thing, right?
This is amazing use of the negative space. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And using the white for the cigarette and the eyes, that's really sharp. That's a real sharp way to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. And again, we've talked about it before, but I'm guessing his color blindness has really made him, an expert at using negative space and shading and, just contrast and that type of thing. Because
I'm
that's what he
assuming
sees.
it's like Daredevil, right? Like he loses his sight and everything else becomes a superpower.
Right.
I'm assuming it's the same thing. Ken's colorblind, but yet, it doesn't seem to be. It doesn't matter what the cover is. If it's
I think it's one of the reasons why his work looks so good and striking in black and white, because few artists being really good at black and white and being really good at color is two different things, and being good at both is exceptional, right?
That's just
agreed. And I guess, if he's using, let's say, silver or whatever, he's really good at it because he's watching it in shades, as opposed to the color itself.
Well, everybody has a personal favorite for Ken. Ron, are you here? What's your personal favorite? I'm kind of curious. Ron, what's your personal favorite Ken Hazer cover? Do you have one, or just, you have them all? So
let us know if you're still watching, Ron. But it is time for the Rex Cap. All right.
We need graphics. Rex XX Cap. Rex XX Cap.
We'll talk to JD and Kyle. So, all right, for the recap, we got Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles.
Hold on a second. Well, Rubenstein, we did Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just saw somebody ask for Spider-Gwen. We did Spider-Gwen, I think, at the 7 o'clock segment?
Yeah.
Hey, Comics with Bueller. How you doing, man?
Ron said his favorite Ken Hazer stuff is the connecting Leia and Jabba covers.
That one is very cool. All right,
Bueller, are you going to go visit Robbie again, or are you going to come to Jersey and visit us? We need to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
All right, so the Spider-Gwen by Rubenstein. Spider-Gwen number 19, CGC graded 9.8, suggested retail of $89.99. It is one of our 5-star $50 books, and we have one available. So let us know where Rubenstein, if you're interested. All right, now for the full recap. We've got Dynamite 10-pack reader set. Suggested retail of $40 or higher. As always, as thanks to our viewers, we have it for $5. Then we had Weapon H #1 trading card variant signed in gold by Greg Pak. Suggested retail of $89.99 is one of our 5-star at $50 books.
Hold on one second.
Yep.
I hate to interrupt you. Somebody just brought up Cracker Barrel. And if you're one of these people that are on the road traveling, I'm going to give you a little Cracker Barrel hack here. They have plenty of fine food if you like that type of food or whatever. Ask them to take an order of their Texas toast and use it as the bread for a grilled cheese sandwich with a side order of their mac and cheese.
That's a lot of cheese, man.
bacon. They press it in a sandwich, and you have to explain it to them a couple times because it's off their menu. That thing comes in its cheesy, bacony, gooey gloriness, and it's not cheap. I think by the time they said you have to have this, you have to have that, I think they wound up charging me like $22 for it. I didn't care.
A grilled cheese sandwich?
There's
no way I'm paying $22.
It was a bacon grilled mac and cheese sandwich.
There's nothing at Cracker Barrel that costs like $22.
I got to tell you, if you're looking for something really good, it's, especially they have beer there.
Yes, throw the Sonia cover up if you would, Jay. That'd be
Thank
awesome.
you. Just a little,
And,
a little.
And this is your last. If you haven't already entered the contest, the drawing for this, it is hashtag the EXP, all lowercase. Just throw that up in the chat, and then Jay will be able to run that through the randomizer, and we'll pick a winner right after the best offer books close. And now I lost my place. Where was I? Oh, all right, here we go. And then we had Dark Hawk, number 1, signed by Kyle Higgins. Suggested retail of $49.99. It is, we have one available, number 2 of 60 signed for $29.99. And then we had Invincible Iron Man number 1, signed by Brian Michael Bendis. Suggested retail of $49.99, and we have one available for $49.99. 3 of 63 signed.
This is just so people know when they come Wednesday, this is going to be the Wednesday giveaway. It's Betty Page, Alien Agenda number 5.
All right. So then we had really nice. Stray Dogs, Dog Days number 1, Dynamic Forces exclusive Virgin variant by Tony Fleeks and Trish Forstner. Signed by Tony Fleeks.
Yeah.
Suggested retail of $49.99. It is a best offer book. Lars Mann is currently in the lead at $19.92. And then we had Batman number 107, signed by James Tinian IV. Suggested retail of $49.99. We have one available for $39.99, and it is number 8 of only 50 signed. Then we had Action Comics number 1000, Decades 2000 variant, signed in silver by Dan Jurgens. Suggested retail of $69.99, and it's one of our 5-star at $50 books. And it is number 9 of only 25 signed in silver. And then we had Dark Knight 3, the Master Race number 1, AOD exclusive, signed by Dale Keown. Suggested retail of $69.99. We have it as one of our 5-star at $50 books, and it is signed in silver. All right, and then we had best offer book, and you only got about a minute left. Justice League of America number 1, signed by Steve Orlando and Ken Hazer, with cover sketch of Batman by Ken Hazer. Creative Keep is currently in the lead at $40. And then we had Cowboy Bebop number 1, signed with cover sketch of Spike by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is one of our 5-star $50 books. Then we had Despicable Deadpool number 287, lenticular cover, CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have one available for $69.99. And then we had Spider-Gwen number 19, CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99, and it is one of our 5-star books at $50. And then we had Batman the Imposter number 1, CGC graded, a 9.8 guaranteed. Suggested retail of $89.99, and it is one of our 5-star at $50 books. And then we had Immortal Red Sonja number 4, incentive virgin cover, 25-to-1 ratio by Lee Ricks Lee. And then we had Army of Darkness versus Reanimator, Necronomicon Rising number 1, virgin cover by Arthur Sidam. Suggested retail of $50, and we have one available for $40. And finally, we had Vampyverse number 1, premium metal cover by Adam Hughes. Suggested retail of $100, and we have one available for $69. And that is it. And best offers are closed. All right, so it's time for the drawing for the Immortal Red Sonja. I assume everybody's in. All right, Jay, go ahead and spin that wheel, my friend.
Boom.
And it's
Any
Any
Comics.
Comics.
Nice.
Congratulations, buddy. All right, little red Sonia. Just make a note. Awesome.
Congratulations.
How does it compare to Golden Corral? I'm not a fan of Golden Corral. First of all, everything I remember eating there was super salty. Not a big fan of the buffet thing in the first place.
Especially since the pandemic.
I
It's one thing if I'm at Vegas and I'm at like a $69 a person buffet. That's one thing, but
have you even done that since the pandemic?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah.
The closest thing I've come to doing anything like that is there's a sushi place up in Princeton, which is sort of like, I guess all you can eat is the best way to put it. But you just sit at your seat, and they're just making stuff constantly. You get the little piece of paper, you fill it out. I want this, I want that, I want this. It's pay one price, and you just keep eating to failure.
Oh man, I need a place like that here.
All right, so hey, Robbie, are you doing the movie review tonight?
Yeah, tonight we're actually kicking off our Action Fest 2022. It's our annual look at a bunch of action movies. We're kicking it off tonight with the Lethal Weapon franchise. We're going to be talking about all 4 Lethal Weapon films tonight.
Cool.
Very cool.
And that's 9 p.m. Eastern?
That is right, 9 p.m. Eastern on Pop Culture Philosophers.
Lethal Weapon TV show?
No, we're not going to talk about the TV show.
No.
So check out Robbie's YouTube channel, Pop Culture Philosophers, for his movie night review. It's going to be, I guess, action theme now, and 9 p.m. Eastern. So check that out. We will have Mishmash with Miss Jen at 8 right after this show.
It's right after the show.
So watch that, and then 9 o'clock switch over to Pop Culture Philosophers to catch movie night, Lethal Weapon. And again, I want to thank all of our viewers. We couldn't do this
We
without
just got a
you.
text from Miss Jen and said, pull the plug, I'm ready to go. No, it did not. I just got an idea. We have to talk to Ken. You know the supervillain covers over the years where you see the back of the villain and he's got like all the monitors up on the wall, Dr. Doom, whatever. We have to ask Ken to do one with Ron in front of this wall of CCAs.
All right. Dwayne's Payne, see you, buddy. Robbie, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks,
for joining
everybody,
us.
for joining us. Congratulations to the winners. Robbie, thanks for joining us, man. Rex, as always, we have a blast. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for New Comic Book Day.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you on Wednesday.
Join the party. Head over to our Linktree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.